Hey everyone, it's Amanda Lynch again. This week for our discussion board, I have chosen the poem Youth by Samuel Ullman. In this poem, Ullman describes what it means to be youthful. One of the first points that he makes in the poem is that youth is not a time of life, but rather a state of mind. This kind of spoke to me when I was reading through the poem because it's kind of how I feel. Age is just a number. That's kind of something I go by. The first thing he says that decides whether or not a person is old or in their youth is whether or not they choose adventure over ease. A lot of times we think of, those teenagers, they go out and they try new things and they do new things. And as we get older, we kind of choose to play it safe and stay at home and things like that. But one of the points he makes is oftentimes it exists in a man of 60 rather than in a man of 20. If you think about that, you think about the 60-year-olds in your life, a lot of times they have this breath of fresh air, if you will. They want to go out and try new things and do new things, and they have the opportunity at that point in their life to do things. And Ullman makes the point here that that is a sign of youth. The second thing that he points out is that we get old, again, not by age, but by deserting our ideals. If you think about that young kid graduating college, they have all these goals and all these ideals of what their life is going to be. They've graduated, they're going to go have this career, they're going to obtain this wonderful career and pursue their passion. And we don't oftentimes associate that with a person of older age. But the point he makes here is it's not the age that determines whether or not we're old. It's, seeking those ideas, going out and looking for those ideals that actually keeps us young. The third point that he really makes is that we're old when we give up on our enthusiasm, because giving up on our enthusiasm actually wrinkles our soul. I'll go back to, when you first graduate college, most people are that 22 to 25 age range there, and they're enthusiastic about what their life holds. They've got, this great path of where they're headed, and they're going to accomplish all of these goals and do all of these things, and there's just great enthusiasm and passion for life. And Ullman says when you lose that, your soul becomes old. You lose that enthusiasm and passion for life. He goes on to say that there are 5 things that keep a person young, and those are beauty, not just in ourselves, but in all things, hope in life, cheer, courage, and power. And he says that when we lose those things, that's when we lose our youth. That's when we start doing things that would be considered old instead of being youthful. The last thing he closes out on in this poem is that when our heart becomes encased in the ice of pessimism, then we are old. But when we seek out that optimism and find optimism in all things, that's when we're still young. If you go back, if anyone watched my video for our discussion board in week 1, I said that's one thing that I seek to do in life is find the positive in everything. So I found it very awesome that at the end of his poem, that's what Ullman goes back to, is finding that optimism in life keeps us young. So that's my recap on Youth by Samuel Ullman.